you know, the Democrats and for, you know, some kind of document or confidential about doing this. And this is just an example of the left, who I don't know how anybody in America would continue to elect people, the amount of IRS agents, but it's the same type of mentality and total dictatorship or Marxism of having total control over what you do, and if they're just going to double their efforts against you. And I think this is what's going on with this whole search warrant. You know, clearly you just need probable cause. Probable cause is not that difficult, but when you're talking about a former president of the United States, this is clearly unprecedented and lesser fashion.
It really is. And, you know, you talked about some of the moves there that's going on. 86,000 agents hired for the IRS that need to be had by an administration who wants to defund law enforcement across the nation, an administration who doesn't want to have law enforcement presence. They believe the social justice movement was more important. However, when it comes to the pocketbooks of Americans, into their wallets, they have 86,000 armed people getting ready to hit the streets. And how much of this is going to go after, maybe, because we talk about it with the Patriot Exchange, are they focused on anything in that area? Does that concern you, what's going on there, Chris?
Yeah, you always have to have one foot in the accelerator in the cryptocurrency. What kind of pushback are you going to get for, you know, your political views and being openly conservative? Tax can come. You know, we're able to go ahead and host a new country, and our business model is not going to be as impacted. Problem is, it's more troubling for the citizen and the values that you even have to be concerned about this. So I'm that our country would continue to elect people who are these IRS agents. Significance of this move for what this party feels is the most important at this juncture is truly frightening, that this is a top priority and that they put this inflation bill, which, you know, we don't need to have PhDs and that's what's really in this bill, Kevin. And nothing could be further from the so it's really disheartening if it wasn't so serious.
Yeah, it definitely has that great concern. And let me kind of follow up with this as we appreciate you taking some time and we move on from the topics of those things. Let's talk specifically Patriot Exchange. Where are you guys at right now? You just talked about this new entry with this new partnership. Where can people go and check you out, Patriot Exchange, kind of, you know, if they're interested? Crypto is, I tell you right now, I watched my crypto accounts started to grow a little bit. Looks like things got really strong last week. But where are we at with crypto in the or the world?
Yeah, so, you know, cryptocurrency, unfortunately, we could cycle. We really needed this this bear market, and what the bear market does, stand it stronger. We got rid of a couple scam companies, Celsius, and all of their leverage. Frankly, they were sucking in all the money from this, and their money, and those companies need to be flushed. And so that's what's happening. So although it's painful for such a young asset like cryptocurrency to go through a market correction, it won't be the last one. Yep. And then so as these assets emerge, there'll be strands. Fundamentally, cryptocurrency will be in a better position. People will be a bit more wiser, already a couple 1,000%, although they do have a lot of potential. Exchange, you know, we've got this brand new token, okay, Republican in name only. All right, it's a meme coin, just issued $1 billion. Man, these guys are on fire. They got a legitimate backing, good marketing. Patriot Exchange, they're not live trading yet. They're working out some pre-sale. RINO to be a really hot token going into the.
So this is going to be Rhino. It's going to be the Rhino. It's going to be the Rhino token.
It is. It's RINO. the Rhino. That's what's going on. Okay. And we can see with Liz.
You know, it would be really
Cheney.
great to, get Liz Cheney's face on there. I'm so with that, man. Liz Cheney, you get Mitt Romney, man, it's gold.
And so listen, Rhino Token, they're also doing an NFT. All of these images, right hand, first hand, the rhinoceros extinction event. I mean, these are classics. So, you know what? It's about time in 2024 we're gonna make and get them out, because we can't be taking our country back for pretending, right, to be conservatives, okay, and allowing these close 50-50 minute to go ahead and radically and fundamentally change our country, okay? We're in a third world banana republic. This is
it seems that way,
completely.
Listen, Chris, a little bit of a bad signal. I want to talk to you later. I want to get you back on weekly. Chris Obi from Patriot Exchange, thank you so much for coming on, and we're going to have you hopefully back on next week for an update. There you go. Go out and check out Patriot Exchange, folks. Definitely Chris Obi and his excitement about, this new NFT, this new Rhino coin. I'm going to go get a Rhino coin. I know somebody else who wants a Rhino coin. His name's Tim Reilly. Tyrant Slater Studios. He's going to come on in a moment. Tim and I have this really great relationship that we allow each other to disagree with each other in a lot of situations, but find a way, a commonality to actually be able to talk and have a great discussion. So make sure you stay tuned right here on the Kevin Allen Show. This is the Thursday edition. This is your Joshua's Worldwide Thursday. Go and give him a call today. Let him know the Kevin Allen Show sent you. Back in a moment on the Kevin Allen Show.
Hi folks, Dustin Tate here again from the Freedom First Retirement Team. But before we get started, let's take a step back. First 10 years of my career spent up on Wall Street, trenches of Wall Street, what I call it, hedge fund world, mutual fund world, working with the asset manager to create pooled investments, mutual funds, again, hedge funds. I would take those investment strategies to major wealth management shops throughout the country and get those onboarded to their platform. So I've seen how these programs are created inside and out. Folks, I'm going to be quite honest with you. There are very few investment programs out there designed to benefit you. Let's be honest. If the stock market feels like a casino designed to benefit one party, it's because it is. There are programs out there that you can eliminate the market manipulation. You can eliminate market risk. Talk about defined outcome investing. Talk about what the banks use. Talk about what the corporations that run this country use, the families that form this country and continue to use as their investment strategies. Defined outcome tax-free investing. And I encourage you to hop on our webinar, email us, call us, and we'll talk to you all day about how we can truly define our outcome and generate tax-free growth and income for you and your family in retirement. And Dustin Tate here, happy to speak with you, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
Welcome back. It's the Reilly Slater Studios.
Hey, I think we got an audio issue, man. I could barely hear you. You were here with me, then you cut out. You sound like you got really far away.
Can you hear me now, brother? I'm going to check all
yes.
my devices.
Yep.
Okay, good. So I just turned it up, and you sound great. You got a deep voice, as always. You got that deep, booming voice. Tim, you, as I said in the entry here, just so everyone that's listening across the country, Tyrant Slater Studios is an activist group who actually goes out and performs audits on public officials. Now, often these audits are on law enforcement, and folks, I go to task with Tim once in a while on this topic because I'm a defender of the law enforcement men and women. And in some ways, I've learned that Tim is too, although he has a little bit of a different approach than I do. What's going on right now with that before we get into the other topics, Tim Reilly?
We've got a very big issue in Willimantic, Connecticut, and also in Stamford, Connecticut. I'm today, hopefully, if things go according to plan. Going to be hooking up with a new man on the scene here in Connecticut. His name, he goes by Constitutional Audits. He focuses tremendously on law enforcement. And evidently, he emailed me last night. He's had a run-in with Willimantic Police Department using their personal cell phones while they're on duty to actually film and photograph him. So he inquired at the department, wondering, hey, is that public information? Can I FOIA request that video, that photo that this officer took? And the police department seems to think because those photos and videos were taken on personal phones that the public doesn't have access to that. So one of the things that we're going to be doing is making a teachable moment out of that. This will probably be published maybe Monday, Tuesday next week. And we're going to do that FOIA request. We're going to educate the higher up in the brass that was obviously misinformed. And we're going to FOIA request that information and find out exactly why these officers feel it's appropriate and or necessary while on duty to use their personal cell phones to photograph and videotape private citizens in their private capacity. Aside from that, in Stanford...
Listen, yeah, go ahead.
In Stanford, we have a...
Can I comment on that, Tim? I'm sorry.
Yeah, please. I'm sorry. Yeah, please.
Just a little bit of back and forth with the response. So one of the things I find interesting about this is using anything digital is pretty clearly identified in the law. And so I'm trying to understand. I know, for example, when I was serving in public office, that there was some language that said anything that's used in your capacity could be used, can be requested. So there is some defining facts whether or not FOIA will allow that. Are you feeling like what you're going to expose on these videos is going to make a difference, or are you feeling like the energy you can hopefully try to do is make sure you expose everything ultimately?
Well, see, the video and photography that the police have taken isn't the focus. The point is the education. The police need to know and accept and realize in this educational process that what they do on the taxpayers' time and money is all public information. It doesn't matter if you're using your personal cell phone or personal video camera recorder. It doesn't matter what you're doing. What you're doing on the public's time is all public information. And they open themselves up for some very problematic and uncomfortable situations when they don't know this and they use their personal cell phone, because this auditor could take full advantage of the situation and not only FOIA request the video and photos taken that day, he could FOIA request every email, every phone call record, every text record, everything that's gone in and out of that phone used on the taxpayer's time is in fact public record.
It is. And, public record, and I understand public record very, very clearly because I was in a position to do that. But I will also say that the mission you're on changes people's, the patriotic version of where we are today. Attacking law enforcement sometime, from your perspective, could be challenging, right?
Well, I wouldn't go as far as saying I attack law enforcement. What I do is try to educate citizens and public officials, not exclusively law enforcement, but most times, more often than not, it is law enforcement, because law enforcement is usually the first line of the defense for the state to try and stifle this sort of dissent that we're seeing today.
It seems, Tim, that you know what? I think there's a lot more common here than not when it comes to what it is that we're trying to actually do together. I think we're all trying to get to the end mission with good quality professionals. We saw during the George Floyd incident a lot of exposing some things that were bad. The one thing from a perspective is you're going to go around the country, and what about really going after the policymakers, those people that are really setting these things up for failure? Because to me, I'd rather focus on the bad policymakers and get them the hell out of there.
Yeah, you and I both. And I'll tell you what, the problem I'm having as an independent journalist, an activist, a gonzo blogger of sorts, if you will, a First Amendment auditor, is you can't get to the governor. You can't get to the Secretary of State. You can't get to the legislatures. You can't get a camera in front of a judge or a lawyer or a public defender. you are not allowed to exercise your rights when you're on public property inside of a courthouse. That's a magical place, according to the state of Connecticut and some other states across our union. For example, this case that John Flynn was down in Waterbury witnessing yesterday, the very first words out of the judge's mouth: if you take a photograph in this courtroom, you're going to prison for 6 months. That's putting the private citizen who's on public property, observing public business in a public courtroom, witnessing a public case. They have every right. Smith versus Cummings, they have every single right, according to the Supreme Court rulings of this land, to film and photograph that court case and all of the public officials associated with it in the course of their official duties. So, I mean, that stuff is very irritating to me. That's the stuff I'm trying to challenge. But more often than not, it's these state agencies and municipalities call the police first. So it's always the police who show up to do the dirty work on behalf of these legislators or state capitol personnel who won't let me in the building, or whoever it is that's giving me a hard time at social services or the post office. The first people they call are always police. So my camera always, more often than not, turns toward the police to film that engagement with them, which is often combative because they show up on scene ready to arrest me, despite the fact I haven't broken a law. Which creates the purpose of Tyrant Slayer Studios, which is that teachable moment, the need, the requirement to educate everyone on all sides of this equation. It's not about attacking police. It's about making police better. It's about making citizens more aware of what the policeman's job is and how to better accommodate the policeman, while he is also more aware of what our rights are and better to accommodate those for us as well. This is about creating.
Tim, we're gonna have one of those. We're gonna get back to these discussions. We need a long, deep nighttime discussion on this. So listen, you, Alex Jones, you heard John Flynn was on earlier, and just some comments on the Alex Jones trial from your perspective, Tim.
Well, I'm a little concerned. I think ultimately what we're seeing is a complete assault on the First Amendment rights of freedom of speech, freedom of press. Alex Jones is essentially under the gun in court in Connecticut because he has opinions and because he asked some questions. And he did so on a very big scale, and it ruffled some feathers. And our civil rights are under attack in this court case. It's going to set nationwide precedents. And to be honest, I am a bit uncomfortable. I love Norm Pattis. From what I know of him, I have tremendous respect for him. I like what he's doing, but I've seen a transformation in Norm in the last year or two. And it seems as of late, he's less focused on the judicial, less focused on lawyering, more focused on, he's got this great radio platform going on now. He's looking into comedy and things. He's switching things up. He seems to be at a crossroads in his life, and I don't know that he's going to be the best representation for Alex Jones throughout the duration of this case.
Well, we're going to find out what happens. I probably will have Norm on within a day or two. I'm sure I'll get an update from him. Tim, I appreciate you coming on, sharing. And let's do one of those roundtables, get your team together across the country, do one in the evening if you'd like. We'll do an evening discussion. We'll just hit on and record, and we'll go at it. Maybe I'll bring on a cop or two supporters and have a healthy discussion again. I miss those days, don't you?
Yes, I do. I very much look forward to that. I'll try to make it happen. It's, as always, been a privilege and an honor joining you here today. I love what you have going on. I do sincerely appreciate every opportunity you've given me to come out here and speak to your audience. I hope we can create a bridge and power through the crap together.
You're part of the family, just the
Thank
odd
you.
duck out. Just the odd duck out.
I'll take it.
Go and check out Tyrant, guys. Go and check out Tyrant Slayer Studios. Tim is a straight up guy from his perspective. I don't have to agree with Tim on every detail. One of the things I try to tell people often on this very platform, I have my opinion. My opinion doesn't necessarily mean that my opinion is correct 100%, but it's my opinion, and you have your opinion, and I 100% want you to be able to exercise your opinion on this show. It's a safe place to do it. It's not corporate media. They don't tell us what to say. They don't tell us how to say it, and they don't tell me when to start or stop. What I will tell you they can tell me what to do is how I direct my conversations into the public. Because one thing I definitely do is follow corporate media. I do everything they don't do. I totally, when they're pitching a thought and I see the direction the corporate media is going in, we redirect and we actually look at why. And that's why it's important, folks, to bring in people from opposite opinions into these discussions, thinking, that the big picture ultimately can be solved only and if we can work together as Americans. Folks, we'll be right back. Our guy from BLAKPAC, George Farrell. This is a guy who single-handedly flipped Florida from blue to red. Be right with George in a moment on the Kevin Allen Show.
Hello, Kevin.
And welcome back. Hello, George, and happy Thursday to you, my good friend. Again, founder of BLAKPAC, guys. Go and check him out. You can look him up. He's a legend in Florida, flipping blue to red. George, how you doing with BLAKPAC, and how are you feeling today?
Working in Florida again because we have our primaries going on. Let me